I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Baharakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders who taught us this truth so we could teach others. Peace, blessing, mercy to the hopeful elect. So we're in Obadiah, and there's some people are turning, and when I say people, I mean the countries, the seas, all those allies, because if you take a look at the Ukraine conflict, the weapons that are being used by the Ukrainian soldiers are, pretty much donations. So they've been donated for a struggle, right? A struggle in arms. And these people have to go and shoot their way into a situation where if they don't kill their marks, they can get followed back to wherever they're at. And they're not using the advanced technology that the United States soldiers use, the real dragons. These are little dragons. So, you watch those YouTube videos and they'll show that somebody has a tactical advantage because of the weapons being used. So the United States is not lending out weapons, they're giving out the old ones. And it looks like Russia doesn't have a chance, right? But the reason why Russia doesn't have a chance is because all their advanced soldiers work for military companies. They have to call them PMCs, private military companies. Look that up. And that's where all the good Russian soldiers at. So if there was in the front line, I'm pretty sure it would be a different story, right? So remember that PMC used weapons, and then there is other military companies. There's a bunch of fucking soldier factions out there. And they're all gonna turn and they're gonna come attack over here. I don't know why they're gonna do that. Oh, because it's prophecy, maybe? Not only that, it's the will of the Heavenly Father. You can't, pinpoint, the Bible makes me believe that this God being is irrational. You're irrational. You can't wrap your mind around it. I can't. I can't grasp his thoughts, but I can imagine within a certain limit his fury. Because look what you did to his son. Look what you did to the saints. You're not a good leader, right? You're a terrible, terrible leader. But that's okay. Pharaoh was a terrible leader too. He did some terrible stuff. There's a bunch you can go into history and name a bunch of terrible leaders. There's no era in history without them. There's none. So if you go and looking for soldiers, you'll see that there's always in a like for a country, it's always young soldiers and one old soldier. The old soldiers work and teach other young soldiers, right, how to be soldiers. And when they see that Babylon the Great, that horde that rideth the beast, so now you see why the beast is gonna fucking betray them, because the beast is those factions of military companies. So it's military companies that started off with they could have been French Special Forces, English SAS, whatever, man. I don't know those advanced soldiers, but those people represent ideals. Right? So they were trained, and then they have their countries are gonna the countries that are gonna turn on the United States are gonna hire those soldiers, send them over here, and they're gonna have blue helmets and such, and the prophecy is gonna come true, because you shall be no more called tender and delicate. All right. So Obadiah 1:7, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Because Esau, you're treacherous. You give people what's it called, aid. You give them food, you give them medicines, you give them a bunch of shit that they really don't need. But you create situations that make them think that they need it. And that's when things get raunchy. Because now you're giving them aid, and then you send your ambassadors into their territory, making claims on their land and building things and changing ideals and bringing in new ways of thinking. It doesn't benefit their society. Like in Africa, there's countries that are getting, I don't know what the fuck they're getting, trying to get canceled because they won't accept LGBTs or whatever the fuck they want to be called. They want to have their own way of living, and Esau's getting involved. It makes no sense. So with that, you got to be careful, because these people that call themselves friends will not be friends one day. Obadiah 1:8, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of the men of Esau? They're going to be like, oh, I don't get it. And this is the time where that prophecy is taking place, because if you have a supervisor that's, white, you're starting to see, and he's starting to be like, oh, I don't know. It's time for that. So, with that, we're going to say Shalom.